Hi Bobcats, this is Miss Lee, and today's video lesson is on the area of triangles. Please make sure that you're taking good notes as you watch the video. Okay, let's talk about rectangles versus triangles. What can we do to a rectangle to turn it into a triangle? Well, you could go and cut it diagonally, and it's going to give you two pieces, right? And what is the shape of these two pieces? Triangles. Now tell me about the area of one of the triangles. We know that the area for the whole rectangle is going to be base times height. But if I'm going to cut it into two triangles, what would the area for one of the triangles be? It would be half of the area of the rectangle. So this is the formula for the area of a triangle. Its area equals 1/2 of the base times the height, because one triangle is going to be half of a rectangle. Well, what about if we have a parallelogram? Does the same thing hold true? Well, it has the same formula, right? For area is base times height. Well, if we cut along the diagonal and we get two equal triangles, how does the area change? The area for one of the triangles is going to be what? Half the area of the parallelogram. So again, the same formula, area equals 1/2 base times height. That is the formula that we're going to use to find the area of a triangle. So looking here at our reference chart, you've got all sorts of different triangles. You have right triangles. You've got your base, the bottom. Okay, you've got this side right here, a side length, and you've got the height. So just like with a parallelogram, the height has to be perpendicular to the base. It's like going to that doctor's office and they're seeing how tall you are. They tell you to stand up straight and tall. They don't tell you to stand at a slant. So you're always going to look for that height. Sometimes you're not going to have a side that is perpendicular to the base. And that's where they draw those dotted dashed lines from the highest point of the triangle perpendicular to the base. That's what you would use for your height. Sometimes they'll draw it on the inside. Sometimes they'll show the height on the outside of your triangle. So just be aware of that. Make sure you're using the correct height and not a slanted side length. Okay, let's go ahead and try. A triangle has a base of 24 inches, so we need to annotate a base of 24 inches and a height of 12 inches. Which equation can be used to find the area of the triangle? Okay, so again, always start by writing the formula. Make sure you have that formula in front of you. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Now, plug everything in. What do you know? We don't know the area. We have 1/2. What is the base? The base is 24. What is the height? 12. There's our equation. Do we see that over here? Well, this one, first one is saying 24 times 12 divided by 2. Is that the same as multiplying by 1/2? Sure. When you take half of a number, you're really just dividing it by 2. So A matches. What about B? 1/2 12 plus 24? There's no addition in this problem, so B cannot be correct. And along with no addition, there is no subtraction. And why is D wrong? We've got 24 times 12. Because they forgot the 1/2, right? So that's why D is wrong. So the only answer choice it could be is A. So being able to write that equation is really important. Let's go ahead and do the next example. Courtney wants to carpet part of her bedroom that is shaped like a right triangle. So it's shaped like a right triangle. If you want to draw a picture, you can. The right triangle has that right angle. Okay, it has a base of 4.8 meters and a height of 5.2 meters. How much carpet will she need? Okay, so here's my base of 4.8. The height, I do have a line perpendicular to the base, don't I? Because that right angle makes perpendicular lines. So this is going to be the 5.2. This is the height. This is the base. All right, let's go ahead and write our formula and plug in what we know. Formula, area, always start with area, capital A, equals 1/2 base times the height, BH. Plug in your numbers for the equation. We are looking for the area, so that A stays in A, equals 1/2 times the base of 4.8 times the height of 5.2. And now all you have to do is do your math. So I always take half of something first, okay? Because half of something means to divide by 2. And I know I can divide any even number by 2. So when I look at these, both of these are even, so I'm going to divide the first one just because it's there. 1/2 of 4.8. Well, half of 4.8 or half of 48 is 24. It's got the 1 decimal point, so it's going to be 2.4. So now I just need to multiply 2.4 times 5.2. So pause the video, do your math, come back, check your answer. Okay, did you get that the area equals 12.48 meters squared, 12 and 48 hundredths meters squared? If you did, great job. If you didn't, I did show my math work. Take a look, see where you made your mistake, and then let's move on to the next problem. Okay, the front of the camping tent has an area of 7.5 feet squared. If the height is 3 feet, what does the base measure? So we're given the height, we want to know what does the base equal, and we know the area. Formula, area equals 1/2 base times height. Equation, substitute everything in. We do know that A, the area, so it's going to be 7.5 equals 1/2. Do we know the base? Nope, it stays a B. Do we know the height? Sure, 3. There we go. And now we're ready to solve it. We, of course, want to isolate the B, right? I'm going to take my half of 3. No, 3 is not an even number, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I think we pretty much know that half of 3 would be 1.5. Since I'm kind of out of room, I'm going to move up here. So my 7.5 is going to equal 1.5 B. Okay, now isolate the B. I divide both sides by the 1.5. 1.5 divided by 1.5 gives me 1B, or just B, and now I need to divide 7.5 by 1.5. So pause the video, do the math, come back and check your answer. Okay, did you get that the base was equal to 5 feet? If you did, great job. If you didn't, I actually did my math down here in the next problem just so you could see that we need to turn that divisor into a whole number by moving the decimal point over 1, and you have to do the same thing inside. So there would be your division. So if you did get it wrong, just pause for a second, because I'm going to erase this in a minute. So just pause it for a second, check your work to see your mistake, and then come back and we'll work the next problem. Okay, last example. What is the area of the yellow triangle on the flag of Bosnia and Herzegovina? Herzegovina. All right, so this is the flag. We're only talking about the yellow triangle. So let's get our dimensions. I actually need to, there we go. Now we can see what that is. Okay, so I know this base of the rectangle is 34 centimeters, which means if this length is 34, this whole length up here is also 34. But we only need the length part of the yellow part of this triangle, so this right here. So we're told that from here to the yellow is 10, and then where the yellow stops to the end is another 7. So if I add it together, that makes 17. So this length is going to be 34 minus the 17, which equals 17. So this is going to be my base. It's kind of like I have upside down triangle, right? So that's my base. The height has to be perpendicular to the base. So I'm not going to use this side over here because this is the slanted side. That's not your height. But this one is perpendicular to a base. So this is going to be my height. It makes that right angle, doesn't it? Okay, so this is going to be my height, which is the same length over here as the 17. So my height is going to be 17. So sometimes you're going to have to look at the model that you're given and figure out the dimensions that you need for the triangle you're trying to find the area for. So my formula, area equals 1/2 base times height. Plug in your numbers. I'm looking for the area. It stays in A, equals 1/2. My base we discovered was 17, and my height we discovered was also 17. Okay, since neither 17s are going to be even, I can't divide either one by 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and multiply 17 times 17. And when you do the math, you get 289. So area is going to equal 1/2 times 289. Now all I need to do is just divide that by 2. So I'm going to do the math over here. 2 goes into 2 once. Bring down my 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Bring down my 9. 2 goes into 9 4 times, which is 8. Subtract 1 remainder, so add a decimal and a 0. Bring down the 0, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the area is going to equal 144 5/10. We're talking centimeters squared. Okay, great job, Bobcats.